Hi friend, I'm Tshanina, and I think you're gonna wanna grab a bowl of popcorn because I'm about to share with you 6 clean movies to watch on Netflix. Now I'm curious, have you ever put a movie on your watch list for Netflix and you were so excited to watch it, you read the description, loved it, and then later when you come back to it, you're very underwhelmed by the picture of it? This was the movie for me. I have had this on my watch list for a while, but I'm so glad I finally checked it out. It's Tayata, and it's based on a true story. It's in the 1900s where we meet Mary Frances Thompson. She is a Chickasaw Indian, and she's also an aspiring actress. Now, we meet her as a little girl, but she quickly grows up, and her desire is to go to college where she can study performing arts. Her dad is a bit leery of it. He wants to keep her safe at home. But he realizes that he has to let her go because she's just so passionate about sharing her story with the world. She leaves the comforts of home, heads to college, but she feels like an outcast there. She feels all alone. And then she meets Miss Davis, the teacher, and she is one of the first people that believes in her and pushes her to greatness. Now, after college, her desire is to go to Broadway, so she comes up with a stage name. It's called Tayata. And you'll follow along her journey from aspiring actress to finally one day performing at the White House. I loved how tenacious Mary Frances was. She didn't give up on her dream. And it was just so very inspiring to me. You'll want to watch to the very end because I love seeing what's going on in people's lives after the movie. So before the credits, there's some story of what happened with Mary Frances. Leave No Trace. This was a very intriguing movie to me. It's the story of a father and daughter who are living in isolation in a park. They are foraging off the lands, taking care of themselves. They periodically go into town for supplies, but they're living all alone. And you can't live in a state park. And they're eventually found by the park rangers. They take them out. They actually give them another place to live and a job for the dad. It's a tree farm. But the dad doesn't want to stay there, and so they make their way elsewhere. I will say all throughout the movie, I was asking myself, why did they live this way? Why did they want to live this way? Is this the best thing for this teenage girl? You follow along the journey of them finding their way. I want to tell you, though, that at the end of the movie, I wanted more. It was a good movie, but I wanted more from the ending. A Cowgirl Song is such a super clean movie, very easy to watch. But I have to say that I almost didn't watch it because of Netflix's description of it. The movie is so much more than just a description. So once again, I'm glad that I tried it and checked it out. Now we meet Haley and her sister, and they've just learned that their father has been wrongfully arrested. They go to see him to find out what's going on. And they eventually go live with their grandma because their mom is busy working and she needs to keep an eye on them. Then the story changes a little bit and you learn about Haley and how she loves music. She loves to sing for people, but she's scared to sing for people. So you follow along her journey of losing a little bit of her stage fright because she eventually teams up with her grandma, who is a former artist, and they do a benefit concert for her dad to raise money for bail. Now, this is the gist of the story, but there are so many side characters and stories that are in addition to it, which is why I said it's much more than a description. If you love music, you're going to enjoy this movie, especially if you like country music, because it's more of a country feel to the music. But definitely check this one out. Very cute and fun to watch. I'd love to know, are you enjoying this? If so, would you take a second and hit the like button? I would so appreciate it because it just helps spread this to other people looking for clean movies. Rescued by Ruby is another super clean movie. It's based on a true story. We meet Daniel, who's a Rhode Island state trooper, and he is very passionate about becoming a canine officer. There's one more tryout left because he's about to age out of the system. But here's the problem. He doesn't have a dog. So he goes on the hunt for a dog, and he meets Ruby. She's a shelter dog. She is a little cantankerous little thing because she keeps getting sent back to the shelter because she doesn't want to obey and listen to the owners that she's been placed with. Daniel finds her in the nick of time and saves her and starts training her. But they run into a few snags. And you'll have to follow along their journey to see if they learn how to trust each other and work together as a team, and even if they make it on the K-9 unit. This movie was very easy to watch, but it did have a few slow moments in it. Riptide is a feel-good movie with maybe one bad word in it. You'll meet Cora. Her mom works all the time, and she herself has a modeling career, but it's on the rocks. After a devastating photo shoot, she decides to skip town, put things behind her, and she heads to Australia to visit her surfer aunt, who lives a much simpler life, a much different life than Cora. She hasn't been there for years and years, but she's so excited to see her aunt. But she learns that her aunt has her struggles of her own. So they're both working through some things. But Cora, she learns how to surf. She learns how to be. She learns how to just find herself a little bit. But will she want to go back to her modeling career? You'll follow along the journey as they find their way, both she and her aunt. This was a really good movie, and I loved the scenery of Australia, and I loved listening to the accents of the people. Woman in Gold was my favorite of the movies from today. It does have a little bit of language in it, a handful of language, so just keep that in mind. And one of the sequences is very strong language, so be mindful of that as you're watching it. This is based on the true story of Maria Altman. And when we meet Maria, she has just lost her sister. She's died. But Maria goes through her sister's belongings, and she finds some paperwork that's talking about their family portraits that were stolen by the Nazis. One of these portraits meant so much to her. It was an aunt that she loved. And so she decides that she wants to get it back because she's heard about the redrafting of the restitution acts and how they're going through old cases. So she recruits a family friend who's also a first-year lawyer, and he's a struggling first-year lawyer. And they team up together, and they're working together to find out how she could get this, what turns out to be a very valuable family portrait back. They decide to go back to Vienna, and Maria almost doesn't go because she knows how hard it's going to be to face the giants that she went through as her family left Austria as a Jew. While they're in Vienna and she's reliving all this in her past, they're told that she can't have the painting back. So she feels like she's gone in vain. So you'll have to follow along to see if they give up or they fight for it. I can't wait to hear which of these movies are your favorite. Now, if you need more movies to check out, here you go.